I want to get an insider's view on the media's coverage of this war. And Ian Neubauer is a freelance journalist who worked for Al Jazeera. He wrote a column recently in the Financial Review, What I Learned as a Jew at Al Jazeera. He joins me now live from Brisbane. Good to talk to you, Ian. Tell us firstly about the role Al Jazeera plays, both in Arabic broadcasts and English language broadcasts, in covering issues in the Middle East.
G'day, Chris. Well, I can't tell you what they publish or broadcast in Arabic because I don't speak Arabic, no more than a few words. But from what I've heard, it's pretty terrible. I can only tell you about what they publish in English. Now, you open up Al Jazeera website any day of the week, any minute of the day, and the first 5 stories will be about Israel, about how bad Israel is. Israel kills, Israel genocide, Israel's war against Gaza. Nothing about what Hamas is doing, nothing about the root causes of the war, nothing about the hostages, very little about the 109 other conflicts going on in the world right now, most of which are Muslim on Muslim violence in the Middle East, where the death toll eclipses what's happening in Gaza by scores. In Sudan, we know that there's 10 to 15 million people that are generally starving. We don't even know how many people have died there. Yemen, their civil war is still burning. In Syria, there's mini genocides going all over the place. Al Jazeera is focused on one thing. Al Jazeera suffers from Israel compulsive obsessive disease, and it's because it is ideologically opposed to the existence of a Jewish state.
This is hardly surprising, isn't it, given that Al Jazeera is owned by the Qatari government and the Qatari government supports and funds Hamas. It's sometimes portrayed as some sort of honest broker, but it's a more malevolent influence in the region than that, isn't it?
That's the problem, Chris. They are portrayed as an honest broker, and I worked for them for 10 years. I didn't cover the Middle East until just a few days after October 7th. I wrote for them in Asia, in Australia, in the South Pacific, and we did excellent work. Our journalism was top shelf. The editors I worked with, some of them were Australian, some of them were British, really professional people, really solid newsmen and newswomen. They created this persona. They look like CNN, they smell like BBC, they look like anyone else, but they are all funded by the Qatari royal family. And they have one mission in the world, and it is their Islamic global destabilizing agenda. That is why they've been banned in half of the Arabic countries. They've been banned not only in Israel, but also in the Palestinian authorities, because they are known as the mouthpiece for Hamas.
Wow, let's have a look at what the Israeli government is saying about the current situation in Gaza.
There is no famine in Gaza. There is a famine of the truth, and Israel will not stop telling it. 87 million meals, 1.8 million tons of aid, which we facilitated, aid getting in. Hamas loots, it starves its own people, and the world looks away.
So that's what Israel says, yet most of the world's media, led by Al Jazeera, says that there's a deliberate starvation going on, that civilians are deliberately being killed by Israel. How do we find out the truth?
I don't know. That's my honest answer. I'm a reporter. I report on what I see. I haven't been in that area for more than a year, in my last trip to Israel and the territories. I don't know. Now, normally what I do is I'd rely on news sources, rational, trusted, long-standing news sources such as the BBC, such as CNN, Time Magazine, whoever it is, News Corp. I'd rely on them. But I can't rely on them because they're quoting figures from the Hamas Health Authority. The Health Authority, the Health Department, that is ludicrous. That's like saying Putin has a Ministry of Love. Yeah. Or the UK has a Ministry of Sound. This is a death cult. They throw homosexuals off buildings. They cut people's head off who disagree with them. They are into their 22nd year of their 4th year term. This is a death cult. There is no health ministry. They do not run hospitals. They do nothing for the health of individual Gazans. They kill them. How can we rely on them as a source? And that is the problem. That is what's happened, Chris. Our industry, our profession has been hijacked by terrorists. And us lazy, not us, We have so many of my colleagues who are sitting there in the desk jobs and cite Hamas. They cite a death cult. Would they cite the Iranian government? Would they cite Putin? But they cite them as if it's a fact, as if it's the Queensland Ministry of Health.
They do it every day.
Insanity.
They do it every day, Ian.
We don't know what's happening in Gaza.
It is so distressing.
We don't know that's happening in Gaza. That's the truth.
It is the truth, and you've articulated all that brilliantly. Thanks so much for joining us. That's Lloyd Neubauer there, who has first-hand experience working for Al Jazeera.